Hey you. Yeah, you. Smile. Hi friend, you're listening to Marysaystosmile, the podcast I hope you get something out of. Whether it's a smile, laugh, or learning something about whatever it is we're talking about.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Mary. If you follow the podcast, then you'll know that I've been doing a series called Your Happiness. I'm obsessed with how every person is different and therefore has different experiences, opinions, and thoughts in general. Happiness is the best thing, and maybe these mini interviews will inspire you to go find your happiness. This is Angie. Hi, Angie.
Hi. Hi. Oh, that was such a cute little intro.
Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited to have you today.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, we're just going to jump right into the questions. Number 1, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when someone asks, what makes you happy?
First thing, my sister Anjanette. For people who don't know me or haven't been on my Instagram or any of my socials, know that she's basically in my life every single day. She's only 7 years younger than me, but she's literally my best friend.
Oh.
And from the day that she was born, we've basically been inseparable, other than like a few times when there was some other stuff happening in our lives. But yeah, when she was born, we shared a room. We basically shared a room up until I went to university.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, other than the times, like I said, when we were separated for some other stuff. But yeah. And I always feel like she's sort of like my daughter. And it's because in high school, we have an older brother, but he was 3 years older, so he was already gone. And then my mom was working a lot, and then my dad, we were in Japan at the time when I was in high school, and he was going in between the Philippines and Japan because he had a restaurant over in the Philippines, and then he'd come back to Japan for us and all of these things. And so Anjanette was left with me.
Oh.
And yeah. And so for school, like wake her up, get her ready, drop her off to school. We had a really small school, so I would just drop her off and then literally just walk over to mine. It was right next to each other. And then pick her up afterwards. She would hang out with my friends. She was friends with all my friends because she was always with me. If I had any rehearsals, she was always with me. Everyone who knew who she was always with me. And I think that just like really solidified our bond more, because when we moved to Hawaii and then I went to university, I mean, I was only like an hour and 15 minutes away from where she was living.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she moved to California back in 2016 and feeling that distance between us,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there was definitely a void within my soul. And it's because she wasn't here. And so she was a little bit of a factor as to why I moved out to California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we always talk. We'll just have conversations. We'll like start something and then we won't realize how long it's going until we realize it has been a really long time. And it can range from just like random chaotic videos that she's seen, and then also politics and just different things. And she just knows how to make me smile and make me laugh. And she's basically like my human support person.
Mm-hmm. That was so cute.
Yeah. So when I think of like what makes me happy, well, she's a who makes me happy. But in terms of like a non-person thing, my houseplants, which I picked up during the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
because couldn't really go outside, but I love the outside. And so after like the first 2 plants that I purchased, actually exactly almost a year ago, it was just the start of a whole new world.
Yes.
And yeah, and then seeing them grow and knowing that you're doing something to help them grow. Whenever there's a new leaf, it always makes me happy because it's like I'm doing something. I'm like making them thrive. They're happy, and that makes me happy.
Oh.
So there's that. And now they're all struggling a little bit because they're not getting that much sun. The sun has been really weird in the summer. It's not really spilling into my room as much, and so they're kind of struggling. But other than that, yeah, they make me happy. There have been moments where I like try to make sure that I wipe their leaves about once a week,
Mm-hmm.
so that they'll be better, or they'll be able to photosynthesize better, so that all the dust and grime aren't on there to prevent them from getting food from the light. And it's really therapeutic. It's like very therapeutic when it comes to just taking care of my plants. And in turn, it like helps me. So I'm helping them and they're helping me. Yeah. My plant babies make me happy. Yeah.
So I feel like you basically answered the second question, but I'm just going to ask it again or ask it. Who makes you happy? Genuinely happy?
Well, if you didn't listen to like the first 5 minutes of what I was just saying, no. So, yeah, my sister, even my youngest sister, who is 25 years younger than me, it's a really big age gap, but she has so much energy and just seeing the world from her perspective and how she sees things and thinks about things. Yeah, light of my life. Also, just anyone that I know that I see is genuinely happy and doing really well and doing something that they're passionate about, basically thriving, that makes me happy. That makes me feel really good because it's like a person that I really, really care about or people that I really care about, and they're doing what they set out to do, that they want to do, you know? And I feel like people, well, not really, but I feel like it's not really, I guess, talked about like celebrating other people's wins and victories.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. So when people like announce something like getting engaged or getting a new job and just finding their purpose or anything like that, that it gives me so much energy and that drives me to like say to myself, I can be like that too. So not only makes me happy, it's also really motivating. Who makes me happy? Yeah, just the people in my life.
Yeah, no. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Angie, tell me about your happy place, either real life or fictional or both.
Happy place. For me, being in California and not really being close to the coast, definitely anywhere near the ocean. I'm not that close to any sort of beach. It's like maybe an hour and a half away drive. And so I have to make it a day to have a beach sesh to like really get that vitamin C into my system. And it's because, you know, in Hawaii, I was able to go to the beach if I wanted to, like any given day, whether it was over in the Kona side or, I mean, like Hilo had like decent beaches, but at least it's by the ocean. But I like realized that when I first moved here, I think it was maybe a month after I had moved to California, and then I was at a pier somewhere, I can't remember, and I was with some of my high school friends and just looking at the ocean and thinking, oh my gosh, I miss this so much. It just brings so much joy, so much memories. Also, sunlight, breeze, ocean, everything. Hawaii, great. Also, I was like really thinking about it, and also anywhere where I would be able to stargaze. Because I used to do that a lot in Hawaii too. And it's really hard here because there's so much light, so there's so much light pollution. And I would have to drive like 2+ hours to find a place that doesn't have any street lamps or any light pollution to be able to really enjoy the stargazing experience. Yeah, and I miss it. I love it. It makes me think of like times when I was kind of by myself. There was a whole period where I was by myself, but then I like learned to do things on my own and just really enjoy my own company. And so that just makes me think back on, you know, if I ever feel like overwhelmed or I feel like nothing's really happening or like I don't really feel lonely too often, but it just made me think that I got through that and stuff like being able to stargaze and just experiencing all that for sure. Yeah. Cool. As far as fictional, I mean, I guess Universal Studios in Hollywood. And I prefer that over Disneyland because, I mean, Disney is great, but it's just when I think about the sheer size of it, it makes me so tired thinking about all the places I have to walk to. And the Universal Studios, I mean, it's quite large too, but I feel like because I'm older, it's just geared towards it's more universal, which the title is, you know, that's what it says. It's more geared towards every single age. And My sister and I have an annual pass for there.
Ooh.
And also they have the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yes.
And that's super dope. I would drink a butterbeer over stressing over staying in a 3-hour line in Disneyland any given day. So yeah, I think those are pretty much my happy places.
Okay, so what is a song that when you listen to, a smile creeps on your face no matter what?
Actually, this morning, you know how my sister is, she like makes music, right?
Yes.
And we've been producing her first song for like over a year, and we like listened to it because I haven't listened to it in a while just to hear levels and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember smiling during certain parts because it's like, oh my gosh, she's making something and I'm helping her make it, and it sounds really good. But as far as like songs that people would know, because that song isn't out in the universe yet,
Mm-hmm.
a song that like makes me laugh because it's so petty but so cathartic to sing is "Good for You" by Olivia Rodrigo.
Yes.
When that song first came out, I was actually like tending to my plants while listening to the song, and I remember just like be like, okay, yes,
Go off, Olivia.
yes, like right, exactly. It's like I have no beef with any of my exes, but I feel yeah, and it's really reminiscent to Paramore's Misery Business too, and so that nostalgic aspect of it as well put a smile on my face, and it just feels so good. It feels so good to just belt. It's like if you're feeling a little frustrated and anger, just belt out the chorus, and I usually feel a little better. Another song that makes me smile was when "Leave the Door Open" came out.
Ooh.
By Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak. I mean, Bruno Mars, of course. And I knew Anderson .Paak was great, but I had never listened to Anderson .Paak, and now I'm listening. But everyone is waiting for their album because that song, oh my gosh, it was so unexpected. And I love how it's just an homage to the 70s music, and just having an actual band where people are actually playing different instruments and then having all the harmonies and all that. And it just feels good. It feels good to sing. It's so groovy. And so when it first came out, I was listening to it nonstop, and I've kind of gotten out of that phase. But now whenever I hear it, I'm just like, yes,
love
go off,
still
Bruno.
love it.
My Filipino uncle. And then, sorry, one more. I have one more. It came out last year, kind of towards the beginning of the pandemic. And I like to think of it as a song that woke me up because, of course, in the pandemic, we're all kind of like in a bubble of fear of like you getting contracted, your family members getting contracted, people getting sick. A lot of lives are lost. It's just really a really hard time in general, and everyone was stuck in their houses. But when this song came out, I felt like I had woken up, like my eyes were open, and it's called "All I Need" by Jacob Collier, and it features Mahalia and Ty Dolla $ign. And when I heard it, it's such a fun song. Lyrically, it's so fun. Production-wise, it's great.
Ooh.
And Jacob Collier is just a musical genius in general. But that song, yes.
Yes.
That's all you need to know. Just look, if you don't know the song, you should definitely look it up. It always puts a smile on my face.
Awesome. Okay. So, what is a food that can make even the darkest moments in life a bit more bearable?
So I don't have a particular food that like makes me happy. It's more about the memories around the food. Whether it's making it or just like eating somewhere with like family or friends or whatnot. Shoot. So the one thing that I like remember or like that I think of when it comes for food and happiness is actually last year with my sister, who was surprised, not me. She really got into baking, and she's really, really good at baking.
Ooh.
And she wanted to create this peach cheesecake concoction thing that looked really cool. So in the video that she showed me, on the top there are peach slices and like a clear gelatin, so it kind of looks like they're floating.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so she wanted to make it. However, with the measurements that were in the recipe, she used those exact measurements. However, the springform pan that they used in the video, which is much smaller than the one that we had.
Oh.
So everything was off, totally off. So she had like the cake layer on the bottom, and then on top of the cake layer, there's like a raspberry jam, and it didn't even cover all of the cake. So right then and they were like, okay, maybe, I mean, it's might turn out okay, sure. But then it came to the part where she had to pour in the gelatin.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna anyway. Yeah, so when it came to her pouring the gelatin, because the measurements were off, it started seeping through the bottom.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so I was watching this happen, and after trying to like use saran wrap to like try to contain everything with like inside of it, and then like kind of pouring more back in that had spilled out, it just wasn't working.
Oh no.
And so it turned out, essentially it turned out ugly. It did not turn out like any close representation of the picture at all. And I just remember us cry laughing and not being able to breathe because she pulled up a picture of how it's supposed to look and did a side-by-side comparison to how hers looked. And it was absolutely awful, but it tasted great.
Oh, there
and
you
that's
go.
really all that matters. That's really all that matters. And so yeah. And then also for me, I guess any food that doesn't make me feel like crap. Because I am a lot older now, and like if I know if I eat too much sugar, it's over for me.
Yeah.
Or if I eat too much like dairy or cheese, like I'm gonna enjoy it for sure. It makes me happy intermittently, but then my stomach ain't gonna be happy about an hour or so later. And so yeah, it's not really a specific food for me.
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
No,
The memory around
that's fine. That's
certain
great.
foods.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about a moment where you knew that you were blissfully content with life and the world seemed golden.
The first time I felt that was actually in high school. Oh man, this is gonna be such a teenage thing to like say, but like I had a big crush on one of my guy friends.
Ooh.
But then he started dating a really good friend of mine.
Wait, what?
Like a really, really good friend of mine. Yeah, no, 100%. She didn't know. I didn't really tell anyone that I had a crush on him. But he was like 2 years younger than me, but I thought he was kind of cute. And because, like he was like part of my friend group, I was always around him. And so I eventually started creating some feelings for him. But then him and then my friend started dating, and that was totally fine. I'm not going to try and cause drama because they look happy, and, like their happiness is all that really mattered. But I want to say sometime after they started dating, I remember this day, I think it was after school. I was hanging out with some of my friends, and I just felt so light. Like there was literally no like pressure or weight on my body, on my soul. It just, everything felt right in the world. I don't even know where it came from. But I'm pretty sure it was just like accepting that like, oh, I had a crush on this guy, but it didn't work out. And it's fine being single, which is a really big revelation to have when you're a teenager.
Oh, totally.
Because in those formative years, hormones starting to,
take
cause
over.
chaos within your body. Yeah. It literally everything just felt right in the world. And what I also remember about that time is that we ended up by some basketball hoops by the school. And literally, I'm not kidding, every single shot that I took, I got in.
Hey!
Every single shot. And I was like, you know what? This is the best fucking day ever. So that was like the very first memory that I have of like actually feeling like this is what pure happiness feels like. And then I actually have 2 days out of last year during the pandemic. I remember they were both Thursdays, which is really random because you wouldn't think Thursday would be anyone's favorite day.
No.
But those 2 Thursdays, they were like different times of the year. I think one was during the summer and the one was kind of in the fall, almost winter time. I'm pretty sure Angie was obviously there with me wherever we went. And then I'm pretty sure we just went to like a plant nursery and got some plants. And then maybe got some lunch. I don't remember the specifics, but I remember the second Thursday, when we got home was when it was announced that Trump had gotten COVID.
Oh my God.
And so it's like the day was already great. And then that was announced. I'm like, you know what?
Today was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So yeah, those days were great.
Okay, alrighty. So this is the last question. Do you have a favorite quote that is either uplifting or makes you feel powerful?
I'm not like, I used to be on the hunt for inspirational quotes and things to help me get through the day, but I don't really look for those anymore, and so it's like kind of hard. However, my sister and I recently just finished watching all of the Teen Wolf series. Have you watched it?
No, but I bought seasons 1 on 2 on DVD, so I'm excited to watch it one day.
Well, all the seasons are on Hulu, so get into it. But I just find it so funny because I'm like 31, but I really enjoyed it, even though it was called Teen Wolf, because it's a lot smarter than it like turns out to be. Or what, like it's really not what you expect. There's so many things that it deal with. Anyway, so how do I say this without spoiling anything? So we all know like one of the characters turns into a werewolf.
Period.
Yeah, and then but his mom, a line that she says is that be your own anchor.
Ooh.
Right? And when you watch the series, which you should, you'll totally understand what that means. But in terms of like our lives as humans and with no supernatural beings in our lives, I really like that because at the end of the day, you are living with yourself. And if you yourself cannot be your own cheerleader, you cannot be there for yourself, you cannot find some level ground within yourself, then you're just making it harder in life, like for yourself in life. And I really like that because it's really making you look inward.
Yes.
And to believe in yourself and to know that you fucking got this. Even if outside forces could be telling you otherwise, even if you feel like you don't have any support from anyone, as long as you know that you are a solid foundation for yourself and believing in that, then, you can literally do anything. So I guess that doesn't really make me happy, but it's reaffirming as to knowing that you can get through anything, essentially. And I really like that.
Be your own.
And also, yep. And also, I don't know any other quotes, honestly.
It's a
but
good
yes,
one.
but that, I really like it.
Yes. Okay. Well, that was it. Thank you so much. I love your answers. It was different, but it was such an interesting perspective.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Okay, great. I feel like I was rambling a little bit.
No, I love it. I love it. Listeners are really getting to know who like you are and your experiences. And I live for that. That's what I wanted. Yes.
Yay. Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for being here for this episode, Angie.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is, wow. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed this and bye.
Bye.
Hi there. That was an episode of Marysaystosmile. Please like, share, review, and subscribe. Basically, however you're listening to this podcast. Also, I've made an email for you guys to send questions or topics that you would like for me to discuss/talk about. It's going to be himarysystosmile@gmail.com. One more time, himarysystosmile@gmail.com. Anyways, I hope you have the most amazing day. Bye!